Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from Rick Wembrick, and today we have set number 40334. This is the Avengers Tower, and this is Marvel Studios' first 10 years branded the Avengers. You know, it's based on the Avengers Tower from Age of Ultron, obviously, but the figure, that's debatable. Contains 211 pieces, was given away with purchases of $75 or more. From April 19th to May 2nd while supplies last. Filming this before May 2nd, so I don't know if it lasted the whole time. With purchases of $75 of Marvel stuff, specifically. And I picked up the Avengers Compound Battle to get this, and, you know, you got cool art of the figure on the side. And then there's the back, and the other side shows you, this one's kind of designed to be that way. But you also have the one-to-one of Tony on the top of the box. And the actual model built up is pretty much, I think it's one-to-one with the back side of the box. If it's not one-to-one, it's very, very, very close. So if you get this in hand and you see the back of the box, it is that size. I think that's exactly what you're getting. And with that in mind, that is pretty sizable for a little promo set like this. Yeah, it has a small footprint. It's on these round plate things, like tiles, basically, with the 2x2 studs in the center. It's designed around two of those. Those are not very common at all in this color. I think they appear in like one or two other sets, so it's good to get those here. And they basically just create a little round base for it to sit on, with the exception of the front, which has this 1x2 brick with the studs on both sides that just allow you to stand Tony right there. Maybe it would have been cool to get a printed like 1x2 tile just saying what the figure is or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. Maybe that would have been cool. Like maybe sort of what they do for the Ultron edition Hulkbuster, where they have like the Mark, I think it says Mark 43 in that one, right? But if they did one of those for Tony here, that could have been cool, but that's the only thing I could think of. Like, I don't know, maybe covering up these studs somehow is the only improvement I could think of for the base here. You can just pull this right off really easily, and there, that's what you can see. That's what I meant by the round tile with just the 2x2 studs in the center. And you can just take that off and plop it somewhere if you want to. Maybe if you want to create a micro scale in New York, because obviously the display stand doesn't really fit that, but you know, I think on its own it still looks pretty good. I like the use of the grill tiles for, you know, the windows all around. You could also turn this if you wanted to. Maybe that one doesn't particularly work because Tony can't stand then, but you could flip it around completely if you wanted Tony to be displayed with the tower facing this direction. This is how the instructions tell you to build it. I did screw up at one point in the instructions where they don't include 4 of those gray. It's the 2x2 plates that have the 2 studs facing the front, like sticking out. They have 2 of them in tan, which are hidden underneath here, and 2 of them in gray, and I built it backwards and, you know, had the tan showing through. So, you know, that's the one thing that's a little bit difficult about building it, is that it's kind of symmetrical, but slightly not. Until you get to, obviously, building up the tower. They use these grills again here. This is angled in with plates. It looks pretty good. Comes out almost perfectly flush with the sides. I think that's a good look there. You get some pretty sleek angles that definitely fit the design of the tower. And this extrudes just a little bit outwards. I like the use of these rounded pieces, aside from the fact that we get those little slots there. And once you get up to the top of the tower, you can see, a lot of people say it looks kind of like the Fortnite llama. I don't know. Comparing it to pictures from the people who compared it that way, it kind of does, but I don't know. If you look at it from straight on side, I'm not very experienced in anything Fortnite, so I'm not an expert at all. But I guess people say it does. And then there's a 2x2 round tile on the side that is printed with the Avengers logo. That does appear in some of the endgame sets. Kind of like, I think in the smallest set they use it as a projectile in the disc shooter. It might be in a couple of the other larger sets. I know it's not in the Hollow Armor. It might be in the Compound Battle. And then you got the windows here. That comes out pretty good. And then you have a little landing pad outside. You know, it's a good look. I like the use of these to get that angle there. And then you got a little bit of grill detail up on the top as a result. And then you also have this little Quinjet, which is just clipped on with one of these transparent bar pieces. And it kind of looks like it's flying, especially if you have it in front of a background that, is white. Mine's slightly off-white, so you can kind of see it, which is a good thing, I guess, for the sake of this video. But it does kind of look like the Quinjet is flying, especially if you don't look at it super close. And I like the use of Star-Lord's blasters for the Quinjet there, as well as the trans dark blue cheese slope, which kind of makes it look like the Age of Ultron Quinjet, which, appropriately should be. Overall, I think that the design of this, accurately portrays the Avengers Tower, and I think that that's a good thing. The minifigure is a little weird in the fact that apparently it's supposed to be the Mark 7 from the scene where he's suiting up as he's falling down the tower, which, first of all, does not line up with the fact that this is an Age of Ultron Avengers Tower, and second, it doesn't have the right helmet for that. This helmet is exactly the one that they used for the Mark 43, particularly the Mark 43 from the Ultron Edition Hulkbuster UCS model-ish thing. That's the same exact print on there, on that helmet. And he does get a 1x1 cylinder in trans light blue just to be able to hold the helmet so that he doesn't have to wear the helmet all the time. He can actually use his hair. But yeah, this helmet is that piece. It's exactly the same. It's a Mark 43 helmet. But supposedly the torso is supposed to represent the Mark 7. I can see the Mark 7, but I don't know, I feel like it makes more sense for this to be the Mark 43 from the scene in Age of Ultron where they're trying to bring Vision to life. And then, he, partially suits up and he has the one arm suited up and he's, aiming it at people. And, yeah. I feel like this is more accurate to that suit than it is to the Mark 7 as he's suiting up, because I don't think he suits up an arm first. I think that he gets both arms at approximately the same time. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is exactly how he starts suiting up the Mark 7 in the air. But even then, that doesn't last very long. It's a split second, so I don't know why they would have started or decided to go with specifically, having one arm suited up and the chest, if this was just supposed to be the Mark 7. Either way, he does have the standard Infinity War Tony Stark face, and you can put the helmet on him just easily, and you can see that he does have the heads-up display on the alternate side of his face, so the only thing exclusive about him is the torso, which, that's fine. I think that it works, especially if it's supposed to be the Age of Ultron Iron Man Mark 43. But apparently it's not, so I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I do think that this is a good figure. I'd like to know officially what this is supposed to be. I don't think if they've said anything, I think they said that it was the Mark 7, which I disagree with, but I don't know. If it's the Mark 7, whatever. If it's the Mark 43, whatever. I'm going to pretend it's the Mark 43 because that makes more sense to me. And there is one instruction booklet included, and it is oriented vertically on the cover, and then you can move into horizontal mode. And there are no ads in the instructions at all for anything. But I do think overall, regardless of what the figure is supposed to be, I think that this is a pretty solid promo. You get a really cool micro build. And I think this looks better than Diagon Alley. Yeah, I'm a bigger Marvel fan than I am a Harry Potter fan, so maybe I'm slightly biased there. But, I do think that this is a cooler looking model and at a better scale. The figure, it's cool. I like it. Maybe Ollivander's cooler. Maybe that's the one point that Diagon Alley wins. And Diagon Alley did have more pieces, but it also had a higher threshold. And, I would like to know officially what that suit is supposed to be. Regardless of what it's supposed to be, it is a cool figure to include, and it's cool that we even get an exclusive figure. Because they could have gone Battle of Hoth mode and just given us a cool build with no figures at all. And I don't think this would have suffered too much if they did that. Maybe they could have, added a little bit more detail, or maybe an exclusive, Avengers Tower print on the base instead of a figure. Maybe they could have done that. Maybe that would have been cool. Who knows? regardless, instead of just wishing for random stuff, I think that this is a good promo as it is. I would definitely recommend spending $75 to get one of these. So I think that this is going to be a cool little collectible thing. And I guess even if you don't want the figure, maybe, and you don't want to spend $75 on Marvel stuff, you could probably bricklink this for relatively inexpensively. But I do think the box art is worth getting too. So there is that. But overall, this is my favorite promo of the year so far. Last year had a couple really good promos. I guess I can't say my favorite promo in a long time, but overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think. Did you guys pick up one of these? And if so, what do you think of it in the comment section down below? And I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.